Passionate Living with Kat Miller is brought to you by Healthy Communities 2030. For more information, go to creatinghealthycommunities.org.
Catherine Miller. Thanks for connecting. Are you ready for another adventure in passionate living? And do you like birds of prey? Because we're going to meet some beautiful raptors and the woman who helps wounded birds return to nature. Did you know the phrase, listen to your gut, actually makes a whole lot of sense, as our gut has its own intelligence. Meet Dr. Helen Battisti, who shares some fascinating info about something called a microbiome and what to do to improve the health of our guts. But first, join Lucy Connery as we take an adventure through Explore and More. Lucy and her friend are going to show us some effective ways to help your kids learn and stay healthy, all through the activity of play. Lucy, this is like the coolest place ever. Tell me a little bit about Explore and More?
Yes, so we are at the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation's Explore and More Children's Museum. And this is just a great place to talk about overall health, to talk about overall fun, free play, and recreation.
Wow. Can we move in here?
Yes, and we're going to get close to it. We're going to get these kiddos in here, having fun, playing.
I love it.
Let's do some make-believe sports auditions, okay? So what does it look like when someone shoots a hockey puck?
Like they're going like this.
Yeah.
Swing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an athletic run up and... Good job. Okay, good job.
Or how about soccer play?
Lucy, this is a blast. I love this place.
Me too, oh my gosh.
What a great way for kids to stay healthy and learn while they're playing.
And it's right downtown. They used to be in East Aurora, and now they're in such a centralized location that they can reach as many kids as possible.
That's awesome. And I love how you work with the kids. Tell me a little bit about your focus with children.
Yes, so our partnership with Explore and More is with our Be Active Kids initiative. So of course I work for Healthy Communities 2030, but Be Active Kids is all about free play. We don't want to limit kiddos to what they can and can't do to get physically active, and so we really want to highlight free play, whatever it looks like. Does it look like acting like an animal? You know, it might look funny, but it's fun, and that's what being a kid is all about, and having fun is all about.
Okay, what other animals can live in trees? You said birds?
Python.
Python? How do you walk around like a python?
Looks like a snake.
Wow!
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
This is so good, you guys.
Like a snake, right? Do the flapping pigeon. Okay.
What about a pigeon?
Flapping pigeon.
Wow.
We have been to children's museums all over the country, and this has been hands down our favorite. We love it.
And it actually helps with the development of the brain. I know
Exactly.
we had a Waldorf school for my children when they were young, and free play was a big part of it because using the imagination is so vital. for your
Exactly.
child.
And that's the thing about Explore More here and just in general. We're about character development and setting goals for yourself and really trying to achieve anything you want to achieve, and exactly engaging that imagination is such an important part of that. Yeah, we love working with kids.
Now the working out thing, that was the best.
Yes, exactly. And that's the free play, you know. Like, we don't want to limit people to, well, only if you can afford equipment or only if you have all these toys. No, just being yourself and having people around you, or again, just being alone. You can play, you can move, you can get a sweat on. I do that. You know, playing with kids is the best workout I could get as an adult. So it's fun to play as a family. Yeah.
Exactly. And the healthy foods. Now I love, that's such a great way to teach your children about healthy foods and to have fun with it.
Hi, Benny. What do you have? Wow, you have a very colorful cart. What's this? Cauliflower? Yup. How about this? This is squash. My gosh, you're smart. What about this?
Cucumber.
Cucumber, you're right. How about this? Looks like a tomato, right? Might be a little cherry tomato. What about this? a pepper, and it's a bell pepper. What about this? They smell bad. Onions. Did you know when you cut an onion, they'll make you cry? You eat onions like that? Oh, yummy. What are these? Grapes.
And I was just, I'm always impressed by what kids know because I was the pickiest eater.
Right.
But a lot of the times, we like the foods. We just think we might not like it. And then once you try it and you try it in a delicious dish, that it helps your mind, body, it helps your development because you're getting the nutrients you need and you're also enjoying your food.
Right.
And the great thing about here is that, it's all foods that are local to Buffalo, only foods that you can find here and buy here.
And it creates a different consciousness around food at a younger age too, because I know when I was growing up, I just wanted to eat what tasted good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think, every once in a while my parents would say, well, drink your milk, it's good for you, or something like that. But, you get in your mind growing up, oh, I don't like how that one tastes, or this or that. But when you learn that the food makes you go strong, or it makes you smarter, or it gives you an edge, it's a whole different way about thinking about food as you grow up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fueling your body for, if you have goals to be an athlete, if you have goals to be a parent or a doctor, anything. It doesn't matter if it's job or just something you're passionate about. You got to fuel your body and take care of your body by moving it in order to be the best version of yourself. And that's what Be Active Kids is all about. It's how can I be the best me by taking care of my body.
And that's a beautiful approach. I know a lot of adults that don't know what those foods do for them. So.
I know I'm a public health professional and sometimes I don't love Brussels sprouts, but I work on it. You work on it.
Thanks so much, Lucy. And thanks for showing us around here today. This is a blast.
Yes.
I have loved every second of it.
Oh my gosh, me too. Thank you for having me and thanks for coming.
I have a very special guest on the show with me today, Dr. Helen Battisti, and I had your husband Francis on with me recently. You're like the ultimate power couple, Helen. You're just like, the two of you together are such a wealth of information, and I'm so blessed to have you on the show today. Thank you for joining me.
Oh gosh, thank you for inviting us. It's really a pleasure, very much so.
It's such a joy. And you have such wonderful information on something that I'm fascinated with, that I've really become much more interested in the last few years than ever before, which is the microbiome of the gut. And can you tell me a little bit about that?
I would be happy to tell you a whole lot, and you have to be careful because I'm a retired professor, so I can do a 3-hour lecture if you let me go. Yes, but the microbiome has come into play in the recent past, and I believe the microbiome is going to lead us to much better treatment, prevention, disease processes, etc. And so the microbiome, actually the microbiota is the collection of everything that's living in our gut, because it isn't just bacteria, which is where the primary research is happening now, but we have viruses, we have protozoas, and so that research is really in its infancy. And as far as the microbiome, what that is actually the collection of all of these organisms and their genetic material. So there's actually more genetic material from these bacterium, from these protozoas, et cetera, than there is actually human DNA. So it's really, yes, it's
That's
just so
fascinating. What?
It is.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Yes, and so we have different, we have the microbiome of the skin. There's different microbiomes in the body, but the one that I focus a lot on, of course, is the gut, because I'm a registered dietitian. So I'm always looking at what are people feeding our microbiomes.
Now, what is the relevance to the microbiome, especially now in this time that we're going through?
Well, one thing that I think people don't realize is that the microbiome and the brain speak to each other. So the brain we think of as neurons, and we think of the central nervous system. And there's another system that comes from the gut, and that's the enteric nervous system. And they cross and communicate back and forth.
And that's where we get think from the gut, or, you know, when back in the day, they would say, listen to your gut. And there is a truth to that, because there really isn't a gut intelligence.
There is. And so, for example, sometimes you can walk into a situation and suddenly, literally, your gut is responding. And it makes you like pick your head up and look around and say, what's happening here? Right. And so when you start to pay attention to it, you can really see where that communication is happening. Another really interesting fact is we talk about serotonin. Thanksgiving's coming, so we talk about tryptophan in our turkey especially, and it converts to serotonin in the brain, and serotonin is kind of that feel good. And so 90% though of serotonin is produced in the gut. And so when we start to just learn more and more and more about this microbiome, we really start to see how it impacts on so many things, on our moods, on our disease processes. I just sat through 2 sessions at a conference talking about the microbiome, its relationship to heart disease, and the microbiome and its relationship to cancer. And it's fascinating. And I'll just say, in its infancy. So I don't think there's a researcher out there that will tell you that we know exactly which bacterium and in what ratios we want to try to get them to, because it just isn't known yet. So it's truly a frontier and a fascinating one.
And there's so many things going on in research now with the microbiome. It's just groundbreaking. Yes. I mean, for a viewer who's watching the show and maybe having gut issues, maybe with all of the stress in the environment around us at these times, I really do feel that so many people I talk to are having gut issues. What is something that someone can do that's simple, just some basic changes that maybe a viewer could start to make to improve the well-being of their gut?
We've heard a lot of probiotics for quite a few years, and those probiotics are important to us. Unfortunately, too many people are eating on the run, and they're eating too much processed food. We know from studying fecal material, what you eat changes the percentage of microbiome bacterium. If we're eating a lot of processed foods, then unfortunately we're not feeding our gut. Not only are we not providing with the bacterium, but in addition to the probiotics, we hear now about prebiotics. Yes. And prebiotics are actually, in kind of a real generalized term, it's fiber. So we can put all the probiotics we want to in our gut, but if we don't feed those bacterium, they die. So if you're eating a very processed diet, there's virtually no fiber to it. Recommendations on fiber have been about 20 to 35 grams a day. I just was hearing some recent research and recommendations, it's pushing it a little bit higher. That comes from fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And that is, sometimes I feel like a kindergartner teacher because I keep saying, oh my gosh,
vegetables, have a salad.
Oh my gosh, yeah, would you just eat them? Eat whatever else you want, but just include your fruits, vegetables, and some whole grains so that you can feed the gut.
Clobber me every night. I could see it in her eyes. She looks at me every night. I'm like, did you have a salad with that meal? She's just like, no. It's like, have a salad. And then she smothers it in ranch dressing, so I'm not sure how good that is.
But you know something, just so you know, and I you probably know this already, but what we teach our children is, as much as we harp on them during their teen years, they push us away, but it comes back. Right. Once they've learned it, it comes back as they grow up.
My older son now, he'll come home to visit, and he's on me about my diet, and I have a pretty clean diet, so he's taken it to the next level. So
Oh,
it's funny
gosh.
how it does sink in. Of
It
course, the
does.
younger one isn't quite the same, but at least it's sunk in on the older one.
Hopefully they'll all get there.
Yeah, they'll all get there eventually. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you being with us
Oh,
today
my pleasure.
and sharing your wisdom with us. And those are great tips for everybody to just start to integrate into their life, just to use a probiotic, to eat more fiber, to exercise, things that our grandparents told us growing up. They're so simple.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
but so easy to
Yeah.
miss in our day-to-day.
It is, and our culture makes it hard to even do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. And please come back
Thank
again
you.
soon. I look forward to having
Oh.
you back on the show.
Thank you. I would love to. Thanks for the
Wonderful.
opportunity.
Hey, I'm Kat.
Hey Kat, I'm Bernie Claveau. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Director of Western New York Raptor and Wildlife Care. We're so happy to have you here today.
Thank you for having me out here today. I'm so excited to meet your friends.
Oh my goodness, let me show you some stuff.
All right.
We got a lot going on. This area, so this is new. It's a 20 by 24 enclosure. It's kind of a couple years old now, so not super new. But this is where we keep some of our animals. Right now we have a few that can't be released, and I'll show you them in a little bit. We'll go through, there's a little hallway, and then there's 3 separate enclosures, kind of. And this one on the outside, the reason we're standing back for a minute is this has a great horned owl in it that was imprinted from a facility, so they weren't able to release him back to the wild, so they were wondering if we could maybe work with him for education. So we're just trying to adjust him to his new enclosure area. In the middle, we have a broad-winged hawk that can't be released. She has damage to her left eye, and again, somebody asked us to work with her, so she's very amenable, very friendly, amenable to the glove, so easy to work with for education. So we bring her to I teach full-time at Medaille College, and so we bring her to the classroom, and we educate students on wildlife conservation and the importance of raptors and things like that. So it's really neat. Okay, so he should be okay if we just kind of sneak by him. Okay. And so what we'll do, we come in and then we close the door behind us just as a safety in case they would ever escape. We have never had that problem, but 2020 is 2020 is the year of everything, right? So you just
2020 is
okay, so what we do, we learn to knock and kind of open it up gently, and looks like she's on the ground there. So this
sweetheart. Is she beautiful? Hello, sweetheart.
Oh, she's doing great. So notice her right eye is fabulous. Her right eye looks great. And she's got her what are called removable jesses and anklets on, so she can be worked with for the glove, but we can also remove them so they're not always on her. Okay, but she loves that area there. We try to use natural branches. We try to use as natural substrate as we can. It's good for their feet. The variety of things are good for their feet. We don't want them to get bumblefoot or other illnesses, diseases that they can get from kind of like calluses on their feet. We don't want that. So we have to make sure we have a variety of natural substrates, and then the green kind of turf to help with that as well, helps prevent damage. And then on the end, it's a red-tailed hawk who's beautiful. He's gorgeous, but he was from Bath, New York. Somebody shot him. All right, okay, you're fine. And his wing was completely destroyed. He's not able to be released because he can't fly. Okay, so the left wing is the one that's damaged here. That's the one that was shot, and he has had surgeries on it.
I can see he can't pull it close to his body.
He's a beautiful animal.
Beautiful. Wow.
The students call him Xander.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Xander.
He's pretty docile, And so he was amenable and useful for education. So he'll be making his first classroom appearance in November. Yeah, so he's a beautiful, beautiful animal, and I can attempt to show you how he gets up on the glove. Up. Can you come up? Up. Good job. Good job. So again, he's still learning. We're still working with him, doing different techniques. We're getting him used to us communicating with him on the glove, so this is kind of practice in that. We had a barred owl this summer, which was really awesome. So the barred was beautiful. Barred owls are grayish in color, and they have barred patterns on the front. But this one only had a minor injury on the kind of wrist area. And so we were able to bring it to the veterinarian, and they said they had high hopes. So let's wrap it. So we ended up wrapping it, keeping it isolated for a couple weeks just to let that bone set and heal. And then we brought her into the flight enclosure here. Was awesome. She got here, she was able to heal, and she flew like nothing. Within a month, we had her back to the exact location where she was found. And it was the most wonderful, beautiful experience to get her back where she belongs. And what makes us so happy is that in the evenings, the finders, the people who live there, they hear the call. It's just amazing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that your husband is a part of this too.
Yes,
he said he's your biggest volunteer. And how beautiful that he is supportive of this and a part of it. And you two have this connection.
We do have a great connection. My husband is so supportive. I cannot thank him enough. This is not a one-person job. This is many people are involved. We have lots of volunteers, but my husband is my #1 volunteer, which is great. So he helps a lot with getting the barn stained. He helps with like repairs if they're needed. And so it's a really neat experience, a very rewarding experience to have him a part of it as well.
You're not supported by anybody, right? This is all donation that keeps these birds.
Yep, a lot of donations from fundraising we do through Facebook. A lot of friends will do their birthday fundraisers, dedicated to our facility or our nonprofit. And then a lot of students will donate. And then people who we help along the way, you drop something off and we helped you even if it doesn't make it. Oftentimes people want to help and they want to donate and support us, so they will, do cash donations, go online through our website or through Facebook.
Wow. Well, I'm going to donate.
You've already donated. This is
love
wonderful.
What you're doing.
Thank
this
you.
is just remarkable. Thank you for the work you do. It's just absolutely stunning. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, this is wonderful. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us for this adventure of passionate living. My goal in presenting the show is to inspire you to fall even more deeply in love with your life, and I want to sincerely thank you for being here with me today. A special thanks to our sponsors, WBBZ TV, your true hometown station, and Healthy Communities 2030 for all of the great work that they do in the field of health and wellness. And remember, you can view Passionate Living each week on WBBZ TV, Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. Plus, you can view our former Passionate Living shows on our YouTube channel at passionateliving.tv or on our website at passionateliving.com. Join us next week for another exciting adventure into passionate living. And remember to take good care of yourself and do something that brings you joy each and every day. It's as important as taking your vitamins and exercising, as having fun enhances your mental and spiritual well-being.